Welcome to the Vineyard podcast, a weekly dose of fun, laughter, banter, and a whole lot of realness. One day we'll do a dance to this.
Manze,
to this
ama we start the episode with a small song, then we are just jamming.
Yeah. And as you can see, our guest has become a bit residency.
Sitapewa chai bado, sitapewa chai.
Ako nyumbani. Mgeni wa four sittings ni mgeni kweli.
Mgeni alijileta na akamua toki.
Mgeni anaongea zaidi hata ya host. I love it.
Hata kidogo
asema
fanya hivi si to change
by the way, si Vineyard tena.
Welcome back. How have you been so far?
Yes.
Been good. Cannot complain. My skin is glowing.
Well, it's the Lord and a bit of extra human touch called
the glory of
the glory. Yes. Niko poa, niko salama. I'm happy. I'm just doing well. Niko sawa kabisa.
Karibuni sana. Hope you guys have been doing well.
Yes.
And I want to start off with this. Why is saying no so hard? In fact, it looks like an insult.
Yeah.
No. Anajiona squeeze. It's always associated with something so...
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's just a two-letter word.
It's that carries a lot of emotion.
Do you think it's actually based? What based? Do you think it's true when how people take a no as? No, what are you telling me?
Yeah.
And I've ever experienced mwambia mtu no aka throw a tantrum mkako.
Yeah.
Really, madam.
I think why saying no is so hard for many of us is because inherently very many people are just people pleasers.
Sad.
Me being the number one huge victim. Many people, I think, okay, I can't say everybody, but at some point in your life you have struggled with just people pleasing, and
you
are crying, you are feeling, oh my God, nafika home nibomoe kitu, unaona aje niko smart. You want to die. You literally want to die, and you've paid for the service. Ama uko mahali, I remember like when I was a bit younger, niko now like wananiosha nywele. Some of these people, they are so aggressive with your scalp. Nasikia ni kama natoka na I'm crying, like tears are rolling, and ananiuliza nini mbaya? Niko sawa. Niko sawa.
Nakumbuka the goodness of the Lord.
I'm asking myself, surely I'm suffering voluntarily because I don't want to say apana, please unafanya nini. Yeah, so I think that that saying no is because one, you have this inherent fear that you will disappoint somebody. You have this fear that you will let somebody down. You don't want them to see you as like the villain or the hindrance to their progress in whatever context you're saying that no. So it's difficult. You always want to be on the good side of even strangers. It's not just friends. Mtu anaweza kukuja anakudai kitu, you literally don't have the capacity, but unashindwa tu kusema no. It's a big thing that you have to deal with. You can't be a progressive adult and you're struggling with people pleasing. So it's something you just have to work on. Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Mutemi.
Yes.
Why do you think at times we struggle with just saying no?
No, I'm not answering that.
No. Periods.
Practicing. But I think no, essentially is a negative response to a request.
Yeah.
And by the time I'm asking, I'm expecting that you will give me what I want.
An affirmative.
I already have your answer in my head.
Yeah. And it's like I'm just expecting. Sometimes I'm asking for formality.
Yeah.
And for you to start off the process.
Yes.
Of granting me whatever I want.
Because these sides, go home. Yes. Say I come back.
No.
Hata iko hivyo, uko home? Yes, nakuja. Hata kuna space ya kusema no.
Niko hapa
nje.
Ilikuwa tu kukunotify.
Just like what?
Yeah, I think essentially that's part of it. I can't purport to say that's all of it, but that's part of it. And for us, now for the guy who's being asked, no is, it's like you feel you're going to deteriorate the friendship in a certain way.
Yeah.
When I say no, maybe the respect or the love or something
will change.
Diminish a bit. So it becomes a bit, it's a gameplay in our minds. Do I or do I not?
Yeah.
Sometimes the no is a no in your mind, but then you're trying to convince yourself with other things, but she's my friend, we've only known each other for a while, I don't want her to look at me like that. And so you know what you need to say, but you can't, because of you feel like you're affecting maybe the relationship in a negative way. In which case I'd say sometimes it's true. Sometimes there are no's that you'll give and people will totally, change the way they
completely
relate with you.
yeah.
But the way Sonia just said, we are now adults.
We need to,
at this point, we need to be very clear about what we can accept and what we can't.
cannot.
That's true.
Because now we're realizing everything that we say yes or no to, it's a sort of a sacrifice of ourselves.
Yeah.
And how much does that cost? Does it cost as much as you're gaining by accepting it or saying no about it? Yeah. So
let me ask, before I ask what was in my mind. Ushaikaa kwa Jav, ukaambiwa song, ukasema yes. Saizo mumejaa. Saizo bwana mumejaa, there's no space. And there you are. Unaongea na neighbor, na hii matatu skizi wanakonga. And I think I'll use that analogy. It's very funny how you're saying no but you're moving.
Yeah.
You're like, sasa hii matatu, hata mbona nilipanda hii matatu, hata ningetumia tu. You're there venting. But I like my mother.
Yeah.
Imejaa, tunasonga tunaenda wapi? No.
Wacha, I love it.
Anakwanga, nimelipia nini? Ni kiti nimelipia. Kama talipia kiti nusu nasonga.
Yeah. Man.
I think there are things our parents know how to say no to.
Yeah.
And we had gone for missions a while back. And there was Amze who was answering questions.
Yeah.
And it was very straightforward. What is the issue?
Yeah.
That is the issue. I don't see an issue there.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. And I think it comes with age. Our parents are not at the place where they really care too much. What do you think about me? Blah, blah, blah. Yo kitu iliwapita kabisa. Sasa utapata mama yako ataambia makanga, we by the way, sinisumbue hapa. No sinisukume.
By the way, anakwanga, wacha kuniharakisha.
Yeah. Like, just give me. So I think we can work on it because you can't just say now when I'm 40 is when I'll be able to have a decisive no, because it affects your life for sure, and you're always at the end of, you're always the one suffering when you are there saying no or unable to say no. Then you're pushing yourself too far, you're extending the limits of what you can do. So I feel like that's even, you are abusing yourself, by the way.
You've been queuing, then someone comes and says, nilikuwa hapa asubuhi.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Ama uko kwanza kwa supermarket, uko hapo, you have made a line, niko tu na hii basket moja peke, just make a line, bruv. We are
like, I understand people who have like one thing. Maybe
yeah.
It's gum.
Yeah, sawa.
I'm
a mother with a small child.
And I'm like, bro, 5 items. I just have 7.
Yeah, wait, tulia. Yeah.
I think it's also important to note, a lot of times, if you say no, your life becomes a bit rougher.
Yeah.
Than it needs to be. And I read somewhere recently on social media, hakuna prize ya kuteseka.
There's no prize for suffering.
Actually,
there's no prize for suffering.
There is none. And if you feel like sometimes being like you're not able to say no will hurt the other person, just think about certain scenarios. Vile tu umesema ya matatu, ya supermarket. These are people you'll never see.
Yes.
You'll never see them again.
Nasonga nikienda wapi boss? Hata kama tumekaa mimi na Coxie, najua Coxie ya consumer space, but no.
I'm not moving.
Amelipia hiyo kiti.
Yeah.
These are people you'll never see again. You will interact for 5 minutes, and in those 5 minutes you'll have gotten a discomfort. And those 5 minutes, and you can't really justify it. Because hautai kutana nao tena. And I think it's very important just to sustain your life in a very good way. And I feel you'll also miss opportunities if you don't know when to say no.
Yeah.
Because you'd have said yes to something that
exactly.
is just.
Are you able to handle this assignment? Yes.
That time, yani hauna hata nafasi. You are sleeping 2 hours a day. You're like, no, I can, I will.
Now let me ask a question. How do you assess, according to you, a situation to know this is where I make a hard stance as a no? This is where I can be a bit malleable and say, you know what, maybe I can pick it up. What are the indicators, at least for you, to know this is a place I'm not changing? Come rain, come high water. If it's a no, then it's a no. And this one, and the other scenario is, give me time to think.
Yeah, and then I'll get back to you with feedback. I will be back to, I think for me, what is coming to mind right now, if it is anything that compromises my values, there's just nothing to think about. There's just nothing. Let me say this. Once I got saved, like for real, you know, though you get saved a bit, then you are like not really saved. But then one time you're like, now I'm forsaking all else. That became a big issue. One of the reasons why I kept sort of backsliding or not really pursuing my journey of faith completely is because I had a big issue saying no. It would be very difficult that my friend is having their birthday in a club. I love my friend to the core. I love them. I want to be there for them. Amenita birthday in a place that is just so conflicting to my. And for a very long time, I would go. I won't lie to you, because I'm like, I'll just stay till they cut the cake, so that I was there for the celebration. Then I'm out, and I realized it was that thing where we started off the conversation of one, fear of disappointing people, and just also, like when it's a person that you love, it's so hard. It's so hard to say no.
Want to cause conflict.
Yeah, you don't want to cause conflict. So for me, where I've gotten to, thank you by the grace of God, the Christian journey is one of growth. It's no longer difficult at all for me to say no to something like that. And my friends who may hold contrary views to mine understand where to call me and where not to call me. It hurt at first because I was like, whoa, now it's you're not even giving me an opportunity to say no. Like, just invite me. But it's that thing where anything that I feel there's even a small conflict in my spirit, there's even nothing. And we say no is a full statement. I don't need to say no, I cannot come because you see, no. It's just no. Yeah. No. It's just no. Yeah.
Can you show up for my party? Where is it?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I can't.
No, I can't. And I'll take you out for lunch. I celebrate you in a different way. We can go on a picnic, but there it's conflicting. No. The part for saying where you are able to compromise, now that is dependent. That is very dependent for me in terms of if it's not touching anything I so firmly believe in. And it's something that I can manage, then I can now sit and think.
I want to say no.
I have to laugh. I was really trying. Mtu anduthi amesema mimi sijui set ni nini.
Akuja kaiwashia hapo.
I can continue. I just want to say.
Surely.
It's so like imekuwa tu hapa. Anyway. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, I think
the place where you can adjust if it's not something that.
Yeah. So, okay. So the only place I can consider, if it's something maybe I initially felt I needed to say no to, but like it's something I can compromise, is if it's not touching on my values or something I strongly believe in, and also it's just very contextual. Like, what is it? Like, so from case by case basis, and also who is it? Who is asking it of me? Like, if for example I'm in a job that I love, and once, like after like 4 months, my boss asks me, please just come in on Saturday, even if maybe it's not part of what like is usual for me, or come in on something that I would not. No, you are disrespecting my time. You are
Monday
to Friday. I will not. Nah. Now they are to me akili bana. Like, there are some things you can say. Oh, kwanza with the generation to be like, you are infringing on my personal time. Just employ wisdom to understand what the situation calls for.
Where you can compromise on something.
Yeah, there are spaces where you can compromise on some few things. Us saying a no is a no or hakuna prize ya kuteseka doesn't mean now hata wewe uende you become an irrational person, exercising your ability to say no to everything, because human beings, we are relational. You can't keep coming to me every time and I'm saying no, and I expect that to be a healthy good relationship within the context of boundaries. I think that's me.
Mr. Mutemi.
Mr. Mutemi.
Yeah, I think if it touches on character,
yes,
on my character, on my values, that's definitely something I'm going to say no to. If it is counter to that, that's a very easy no.
Very easy.
Very easy no. And I struggled with it for a while.
Yeah.
Especially high school, after high school, uni hapo.
Ilikuwa ngumu.
Influence ilikuwa tricky. Because ulikuwa unaambia tuende huku, and then back then if you don't conform, you are labeled. So no one wanted to be labeled anything.
Situfika hivi kahawa. Na unajua nyewe shwali. Hiyo kahawa si ati kuna kitu ya maana tunaenda kufanya.
Yeah.
So inakuwa tu trick. So at that point you wanted to let me say I wanted to I wanted to at least fit in or avoid the consequences of not fitting in. But as I've just said, as we grow and as we get to certain points in life, we realize, hii maisha uko peke yako. Hii maisha you're going alone. And as much as some people might want to do something with you, if you don't see that as advantageous to you, you might as well just say no at once, so that you can preserve, first of all, your character, your values, what you stand for. I heard somewhere where they said your character starts where you start to say no. Because ideally, if we say yes to everything, if all of us say yes to everything, there's no difference between us. But now, there are things I will say no to that probably Timo will say yes
define.
to. That define that this guy, actually, you can go this far with him, but when it gets here, regardless of what is there. And I think it's something very hard to do nowadays because the pressure is there. The pressure is...
Does the pressure increase or decrease?
It's pressing. And, peer pressure and all that. And it just doesn't end here. Here, kuna peer pressure pia in the later stages of life.
Hiyo ndio mbaya kabisa.
Timo ako na kashamba mahali. Mimi bado si. Unachukua loan.
Manze, ama hii ya peer pressure, like things that you can see, magari, that's usually the worst.
I'm taking my kids to this school.
Wangu wako Westlands Primary.
No, can never.
So I think, that's what I'd say. And I think one very good example of why you need to say no, I think, is once you get saved, Christianity. And I was just thinking, during your journey in Christianity, I think that's the place now I really started to say no. And it's not even in a point of it was transformation. It was a point of now this is not even making sense for me. Because that's my first, I want to follow the straight and narrow. There are things I want. There's an image I want to achieve. There's a path I want to achieve. But yet I find myself in certain places. So nilikuwa nenda najipata maybe Ruiru, sisi tulikuwa tunaishi Ruiru. Nitango aje bed sitter, nitango house party. So unaenda unajipata house party, unajiuliza, bro, unafanya nini huko lakini? Na kitu nilikwambia tu, hakuna kitu unafanya leo. Twende. And you just find yourself there, and there's no advantage you're getting. In fact, the whole time you're there, you're just thinking about how you're messing up.
You're not even enjoying.
So it just it didn't make sense.
Being sober among drunk people,
it's the worst thing ever.
You're like,
when ndio umeboeka, you're the one who is not having fun. You ndio unaona bana, uone shida, it's so bored. Enda to home bana.
And another thing I think I mentioned, this cannot be understated, is saying no makes your life so simple. In certain areas, there are things you will struggle with, maybe with friends or with family, just because you want to say yes, and then you struggle your life out just to achieve that particular status quo that if you would have said no to, you'd be sleeping very well at night
peacefully.
Of course, maybe commotions here and there from family or friends or whatever, but you yourself that you're very fine. It makes your life very simple.
It does.
And you don't have to adapt to everyone's pattern. You can never please anyone. In fact, I believe eventually you'll have to say no to someone out of exhaustion.
Kuisha tu ya.
Umechoka tu sasa hata siwezi. So at that point, I think it's very important to know those particular points. So for me, if it goes against my character, my values, that one I never say no to. I would say no to if it goes against. What I'd compromise on is, acha niseme tu nitatumia wisdom. How it comes and who it's coming from. Sit down, think about it. Is it something that I can sacrifice a bit of myself for? If it is, then I will do it. That's all I'd say.
Fantastic.
As we come to the end, maybe I can ask a personal question. What is that one no you've said that right now you're like, had I said yes? Just one example.
That's a nice question. Now I'm really thinking. I'm trying to think the most transformational no I have ever said.
I'll use one. Like Motema used to go to my friends, but it used to be the sober one. Lifika point I told them, it doesn't make sense. Then it was house parties. It was not clubs. Leo tuko KM. KM is
Kenyatta Market.
Kenyatta Market. It doesn't come.
Okay, so Kenyatta
KM is KU has a KM. Or Juja. It had to reach a point I was like, and I live in Odhero. So I'm going for a house party in Georgia.
Missions,
and I'm like, it was costly. I was not enjoying anything. In fact, I was miserable because caretaker ameteta, oh, this is happening. Neighbor mmempigia mlango at midnight confessing some. Someone has vomited, now we can't sleep. Let me tell you.
Mashida tu.
Sema no, maisha ikuwe rahisi.
I said no like this. My life was simpler.
Yeah.
You know, I will go to school, go to class. If I have some time, study, play pool, play PS, go home. And I was happy. I was, you know, this is life.
Yeah.
For once, I started enjoying campus.
Yeah.
And actually started now forming new friendships. And now my friends started knowing, kama tuchezi pool, ama PS, ama tutembei. There's an arboretum in KU. Ama tuenda arboretum kuchill.
Yeah.
There's nothing much to do.
Yeah. Nice. Yes.
If you have friends who take a little, tell them it's not fun.
Tell them you're miserable. Yeah.
Have any come to mind? I know that you said, looking back, you're grateful. You actually said that, no?
Okay, let me say the one that I am thinking of. It's not extremely transformational, but it's the one that is in my mind right now. It was actually pushed out of me by my friend. You know, Joylene is a special one, let me tell you. Me, I struggle to say no. You know, I'm sitting here talking about people pleasing as if I'm free. I really, really struggle to say no to so many things. I will extend myself until there's nothing left to extend before I say no. So there's a time, there are many instances, not one or two, several instances where I'd find myself, let me just say it the way it is. When we are going home or going somewhere, nitapata nimetoka hapa, nimeenda sijui.
Even me, I feel bad because she once told us something, we were like,
nimeenda Lang'ata, nikapiga kona, nikaenda Kiambu, nikaenda sijui wapi. Then I am driving by myself in the middle. It's almost midnight. I am sleepy. I am tired. Just because I couldn't say, okay, I can't fikisha you to your gate. Can I maybe drop you in town or something like that? Yeah. That thing, literally almost, like there are so many times I reached home and I just start crying. I'm like, why did... Nimetumia 3 bars or 4 bars of fuel. Nikizunguka huku like an Uber driver. Yeah, so I think now Joylene akanisomea kama kawaida. And like, now, and she said she'll never say that no for me. I have to do it for myself. Yeah. And the day that I was, the first day, and I even remember, that's how significant it is for me, that I was able to say, I'm sorry, I'm not going that side. Can I just drop you in town? I reached home. It was revolutionary for me. I just had, I'm like, oh my God.
In 20 minutes,
I've been torturing myself for what? At what cost? So it's a very small thing when you think about it, but it has even made me think there's literally no price for suffering. There's no price, and you don't do something thinking like, even me would have wanted them to take it. Then the reverse is, and they don't do it. Now you are bitter. You know, now you're holding feelings towards the person. So for me, I think that was my turning point to learn to understand that it's good to make sacrifices even for friends, but hata hapo kuna limits. Yeah, just
Mnafikisha kwenye leo kesho bwana.
Mnajua tu mko na resident Uber driver.
Natishi same direction.
Yeah, it's me going significantly off my direction. Anyway, but ni life. That's one that came to mind for me. Yes.
Mine I think I've been going through it. And the one that just comes is very similar to yours.
Yeah.
So back when I was starting uni, of course, nilikuwa nimetoka shule, high school, had studied hard, at least I thought I had. And nilikuwa nimejiambia vile walimu walikuwa natuambia, ukienda university, soma hapa, ukienda university, you have all the free time, you're going to go to the bashes, the parties.
Yes.
So when I went to uni, I had an agenda.
You're going to all the bashes.
I am going to recover. And so I found myself especially in, definitely you find yourself in very weird friendships and environments that call you to different bashes here and there.
But then you had moved out.
By then I was not even in. I used to go home maybe every weekend at some point, but I was already out, so there's no oversight. Na mi already niko na agenda kwa kichwa, so we started doing that, going out. It wasn't as often, but when they came, I made sure. But at some point, that is the same time we had joined the Excans program, and that's the time when I was really starting to become serious with this Christianity, figuring it out. For me, it took a while. It took like 6-8 months even to figure out a lot of things. So it was that time when I'm being conflicted and everything. And I remember this one time kulikuwa na bash, ilikuwa imeshika, ilikuwa Ngong.
Yes.
Ngong is the other side. Na nilikuwa nirudi niende kulala Ruiru.
Huwezi pitwa na bash.
Bash ilikuwa imeshika mbaya. From the way, vile watu tu wanaitana nini, and it was so fun hata kuitana. Even the calling each other, it gave you uko wapi? Kuna bash uko, hebu come nini, hujapata form.
Yeah.
So this particular time, the conviction really hit hard, because I was struggling with it for a while, but then kajambia mazee Sam, you have to start being serious with this thing. So I said, I had already said yes to going. Nishaambia wase, nakuja, simnanijua nini. But later on, okay, I don't know if it wasn't a no. I gave some weird excuse. Wase, mazee mi hata fair sijui nini. I just gave some weird excuse.
And
so it wasn't a no, but me I see it as a no. It was the start of a no. But
it was a no because the resolve was I shouldn't
go. Yeah, so that was the thing. So the other guys went, and that night, through the whole bash, I think that's where some of my friends actually became, at that time, really became alcoholics, because nasikia huko zilishika mbaya, like waliangusha the house, like literally. And so guys, a lot of problems when you speak and when you discuss right now stem from that one night. That one night. And it's not just even the alcoholism, some weird relationships, some crazy stuff just
mannerisms you just picked up,
mannerisms and stuff. And even there are guys who met during that party that now that influence of the guys they met there even drove them to other places. So some of them didn't even finish uni.
Oh no.
It was so bad. Like, I don't know what was up about that one party.
That specific one.
Yeah, but it was weird.
Ungekuwa hapa, by the way.
Singekuwa hapa. Mimi sijui ningekuwa wapi. So I
Mungu alikusema,
alikuepusha. That one no, as mild as it was, but deciding that siendi hapa had a very big change in trajectory of my life. And someone once said, very small decisions can have very big impacts in your life.
True.
And they gave an analogy when you have when you make, let's say you're going in a straight line and you make a change of 1 degree.
1 degree changes the trajectory.
Yeah, it's a very small trajectory when you're here. Like when I'm walking, it's a very small trajectory. 200 meters, still very small. 300, even negligible.
Yeah.
But when you count it in kilometers, maybe you've gone 600 kilometers. You find you, the person who went straight, and you who went this other trajectory, very different. But the decision where you made the change was very small. So I think it's that is one of the things I can say that was really, really a turning point for me.
Nice.
And I love the conversations. Maybe you can tell us in the comments, what is that one thing you're struggling to say no to, and you're sure the day you'll say no, life will be simpler. And I like what they've shared. They've shared the truth and applicability and their personal testimony, which just goes to show if they have done it, so can you. So go forth and say, and remember, everything is permissible.
Not everything is beneficial.
Don't have a form of godliness and refuse it. It's very... we were talking with a friend, it's very painful to go to heaven, then God shows you, if only. Okay, there are no tears in heaven, but this is how things will have. Imagine some angeonyeshwa maisha yake. Had you not met Delilah,
kungekuwa hivi na hivi.
But having said that, remember, saying no is a service unto you. And as much as it feels like go forth and say
Go
no.
forth.
Go forth and say no.
We release you to go and say no.
As Gen Z, we said when things happened. You see?
Yes. Z. Yeah.
Thank you for just tuning in. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Then we'll send a note to Vineyard.
Oh, we are done.
No.
Hallelujah. Thank you, G.